Hello, AFI Movie Club. My name's Brad Falchuk, AFI screenwriting alum and co-creator of Pose.
Dwayne? Go back to bed. I'm just collecting the last of my things.
You know, we really wanted to, with this episode, do sort of the origin story of the Elektra character. Origin stories for the villains are always the most interesting origin stories. You know, what's at the center of their darkness in them.
We'll make a big Hollywood scene out front for everyone. Let all the neighborhood ladies know exactly who I am. I'll make sure to call you mommy.
It's always most interesting if it's very real, you know, and it's with these characters, their relationship with their parents is so specific. And with this particular relationship with her mom was so specific and the hurt was so great. And you don't always know what makes someone act cruelly to people. And I really wanted to have this be something we understood, both in terms of her learning how to be a mother, which is tough love, which she did learn from her mother, but also having to really stand up for who she is.
You think I don't grieve the loss of my only child? That I don't go to bed every night to wake up to find you in your old bed?
Not me in that bed. Dwayne.
Of course.
And also the mom having a real specific reason why this is hard for her. She had this dream of having a man that would always stay. And so she wanted a boy. And she didn't have a boy, she had a girl. And the hurt of Elektra taking away what she wanted, her dream was very hard for her. And again, what Elektra says back to her is, you would have had everything you needed in terms of somebody who's strong and takes care of you, could just accept me as I am, and she just couldn't. The prejudice gets in the way. I don't know, I think you understand everybody in this scene, which is very important to me, but you really are rooting for Elektra and for Blanca and for what they're up to. And when she says that, you know, talks about her mother's disappointment not being her pain anymore.
New people moving into the neighborhood. I don't know them. They watch me when I come home every night. They know I'm all alone.
What do you want from me, mother?
And you also get the longing from both of them that they really wish they both could get past it, that, you know, her mom just can't. And so I just think Dominique is so good in this scene, and you really feel all of her pain and the complexity of her experience with her mom. So I put Blanca there, was sort of important, I think, because Blanca really is she's her daughter. And so you kind of seeing the generations here and how they are interacting with each other.
If you could just tone it down a little.
No, I don't think so. My whole life is dedicated to toning it up, about settling for more love, more fire.
You were able to cut away to MJ, like her face has so much empathy in it and caring in it. It always makes you feel something. And so having her there to cut away to, I think really was very powerful. And I think all the actresses were really incredible in this scene. And you also kind of know when it's over.
That you won't allow yourself to see me. The pain of your disapproval will no longer distract me from going after everything I deserve in this world.
It's over. That Elektra's never coming back here. She sort of said her piece and standing up for who she is. And I just think she's a role model for you know, it's interesting to have a villain, and she is the villain of the show, even though obviously she's a complicated villain. To have the villain be the hero and is always, I think, you've done something right when you're able to pull that off. It's just one of my favorite scenes in the show. Ending with her mom and ending with her crying, it's like all that stuff, all the prejudice, all of the complexity of the relationship, all of that at the end of the day, it's a mom who has lost her child and the sadness of it. It's not always hard when a show ends. Sometimes the show, usually, especially back in the network days, the show's been going on too long. And so sometimes it's good that it ends. It's sort of almost a zombie of itself. But in this case, you know, 3 seasons, very, very tight seasons. And so there is a grief about saying goodbye to it. There's a real bookend of the AIDS crisis really hitting a high point where we started in terms of the time of the show in those mid to late 80s. And then it's sort of shifting once the cocktails came out. And so as we're getting into this point where that's happening, I think that it's a natural bookend to this story, this particular story. And so it feels right to end it there. At the same time, these characters and these actors and the writers and the directors we've worked with have been, working with them has been probably one of the highlights of my life. And so there is something tough about having to say goodbye to them in this capacity. I mean, I think my plan is to work with every one of them again, but there's a different kind of grief saying goodbye to these characters and to this show. I'm more proud of this show than anything I have done or I know ever will do. And so it's definitely a feeling of loss. At the same time, it's a powerful artistic thing to say like, no, but we did it and now we're good. And to know it without a doubt that that you did what you set out to do.